Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Beer Garden. Today is the New Year Day. So first of all, wishing you have a happy New Year in 2024. So on the first day of this new year, we are going to have a race meeting at Sha Tin as usual, and there will be a 10 race car today at Sha Tin. The weather is right now very good. Perfect in Hong Kong, so hopefully you will enjoy the New Year Day with some good races. So this time, Nathan, Joshua, and myself will be talking about our thoughts for today's 10 races meeting at Sha Tin. So after talking about our races, we will be talking about the big race, which will be the race 7, the Group 3 Chinese Club Challenge Cup. It is a Group 3, quite a lot of good horses will be here today. So quite looking forward to today. So maybe this time let us start with Nathan, because Nathan is going to talk about race number 8. Hi, Nathan. Good morning. Happy New Year.
Good morning and Happy New Year to everyone listening, Charene and Reedy, both of you as well. Hopefully we can kick off 2024 with some winners across this very, very impressive meeting. I'm going to go to race number 8 on the program. I think it's a very good race, 1400 metre class 3, this one. Looks like a very interesting contest. A few horses that are on the precipice of a win, and a few consistent types that have sort of started to be jumping out of the ground lately. Obviously, a horse like Choo Chow Spirit at the top of the page. He got his win last start, but I'm referencing that form line, but there was a horse in behind that a lot of punters were with that day on Hong Kong International Day, actually was back on the 10th. And it was a very impressive run here by Global Harmony. This horse is just on the brink of a win. He won first up into the campaign over 1,200 metres. And I've personally had reservations of this horse getting to 1,400, but he seems to be relishing the step up in trip. His last start was very, very good. He arguably should have beat Choo Chow Spirit on that occasion. It was last round the turn. He drew gate 7 with Karis Teaton on board to Global Harmony. He jumped. He just sort of had to drag back from the gate. Didn't have much of a choice on that occasion. He's just a bit slow away. He's always a little bit slow away, which is probably the main query with this guy. But if he can jump evenly here, he draws gate 1 on Tuesday afternoon. And he just seems like a horse that can just sort of hold the position there and be able to. What's today? Sorry, it's Monday. Jeez, my clock's all gone. So he looks like a horse that'll be able to just sort of hold a position for gate 1 and be able to just hang there a bit closer, because if he misses the start again from the inside draw, it shouldn't be as bad. He should be able to tack up and hold a spot a little bit better than he was last start. So Global Harmony, I think, is the one to beat in this race. He gets a lovely map, gets a decent enough speed on here as well. If he can hold sort of a midfield spot with cover, and then when the race goes on, I think Global Harmony must be considered the one to beat in a race like this, where he's just building nicely into the campaign. He's 4th up, he's fit, and he's got some upside compared to a few of these key rivals. So I'll end with Global Harmony as one of my better bets on the program. Happy to have it on top. First one that goes into the Quinella play here is number 9, Midori Burley. Now, he was a bit of a surprise first up, I thought, behind Pin's Prince, who ran around at 63-1. So the market tended to agree as well. His trials were just okay. I thought coming here from Australia, he was okay. I believe he was trained by Bjorn Baker over here in Australia, and he was pretty good. He was, he ran into some decent horses. One in particular in Benchmark 64, ran to Goldman, who at the time was going very, very well. Now, that horse hasn't gone on to be a well beater by any stretch, but he did go on to run in some good class races in the spring. So easy to time into some solid group level form. Midori Burley was first up 1,400 metres in Hong Kong, and I thought it was a bit short of his best trip, but in hindsight, it wasn't. He was very, very good. He sort of jumped. He held ground up on the inside running rail. Did get a lovely run in transit, so he had every right to sort of get that, to at least show something first up. But I think he was a lot more impressive than a lot of punters thought, and including myself, as I said, with the $63 quote, he definitely outran that price. And he's only beaten a length by a horse that was in really solid form there in Pin's Prince, who was starting to build a nice resume this campaign. So he ran decent enough time. He draws another good gate here. And now with Zach Purton on board, you do have to take a price cut here. He was 63s first up. Now you're probably going to get around $5-6. So you do have to take a little bit of a premium with the King jumping on board. But provided he can just, again, hold a spot, get a little bit closer and build into the race a little bit earlier, Midori Beauty for me looks like the clear danger in a very competitive race. And then one at a bit of value, I'm going to chuck into my QQP plays. That's number 6, Kaholo Angel. Now, He's got a very nice record, this son of Havana Grey. He's got 8 starts for 2 wins and 3 minor placings. Comes through some nice form behind Tomodachi Kokoro at the Happy Valley circuit. That was on the jockey night on the 6th of December, and that was a very nice run that night. Was just beaten by a horse that's airborne in Tomodachi, and he was sort of, again, a horse that's building a nice resume this campaign. Drew gate 2 on that occasion. He got a lovely run. Just was no match in the end. Lost by about a half length, but I thought it was an impressive run. And then prior to that, he has a win over 1,200 metres at Sha Tin, beating a horse called Super Legends, who that horse seems to be, well found in the market in a few races as of late in Hong Kong. So I think that's decent form. Goes to the 1,400 metres for the first time. I don't think that's a problem. I think the issue's gate 14. But Vincent Ho, if he can just find a spot, I think he has to probably drag back, unless he wants to just sort of take the risk and go forward and sit wide without cover. Either way, I'll leave it to Vincent to make the choice. But at $18, I think he can do a lot worse based on his SP profile. What's he jumped? $5, $8, $3, and $4. So I think he can do a lot worse than 18 to 1 after, a pretty decent runs last start and running into second behind a pretty nice horse that's in form. So happy to add Kaholo Angel to the play. So Global Harmony, the best bet in the race. And I think the main danger is Midori Beauty in the market. And then the one out of the market, Kaholo Angel, I think, has been a little bit missed.
Yeah, that's nice, Nathan. Your banker, Global Harmony, has the best draw gates number 1 with J-Mac on board. I think he's the one to beat here. He is having quite consistent form starting at the end of last season, and he still keep his form after the summer break. So good to have him trying 1,400 meters last time out, and he also had a good run here. So I think this distance is not a problem for him. So he's the one to beat. And also Midori Birdie, really good debut performance last time out in Hong Kong, and this time Zach Curtin takes the ride. I think he will be improving as well. And Kaholo Angel, he is up and coming. Maybe he will jump from the widest draw, so he has a better price now, $18 for the win, so quite attractive. So I think this 4-year-old is still improving. And for the other runners in race number 8, I think down the bottom, number 14, Happy Daily. I'm thinking whether he needs to go down to class 4 because he showed that he was quite competitive in this class, and also he haven't tried 1,400 meters for a long time, but this trip is the best distance for him. So lightweight for him, I think there's a little chance for him. And the other one, number 3, Sweet Encounter, quite interesting to see him stepping back to 1,400 meters. So that this is also one of his winning trip in Hong Kong. So good draw for him. Gate number 3 still can't be ruled out, but I will still be cheering for Nathan's banker, Global Harmony. And Joshua, what do you think in race number 8?
Hey, good morning, Charene. Good morning, Nathan. Happy New Year to you both and to everyone having a listen to this today. Yeah, race number 8, I thought it was really, really interesting. Midori Burley, I found on top. I really like him in this race. He made it that Hong Kong debut last start. Not a lot went right when being bumped at the start. And he was put behind the 8 ball early. He sat third last throughout, and he come around the bend. He come up the inside, and he met some backsides, and before eventually following the winner through, but it was too late. He still managed to finish a length off Pins Prince on the day, and I think just a better draw and Purton on. I was expecting a much better run here. One that you guys haven't mentioned that I want to throw in is Lost Child. I think it's massive overs today. $26 here in Australia. I thought it was massive, $5.50 the place. He was a really good winner too back and carrying the 61 over the 1,400 meters. But he was well on the market last start. He was about $8.60. And he was met with trouble for most of the straight, and he wasn't fully tested over the last 200 meters, but still managed to finish 2.25 lengths off Choo Chow Spirit, Nathan's top pick, Global Harmony, and Beauty Crescent. He has drawn wide, and he will go back, but that's his normal pattern. So he's worth a gamble at a big price, as I think down in weight, he can knock off a Class 3 victory. Nathan's not going to like it. I was with Global Harmony last start. I really don't like it here, especially from the inside draw. The way he just misses the kick, I think he might run into a bit of trouble. But in saying that, he is a solid horse. This looks a really winnable race for him. And honourable mentions to Sweet Encounter, I think, can run well. And obviously Kaholo Angel, which Nathan has touched on. But yeah, I think Midori Burley for me and Lost Child, it's massive, massive price. I'm interested to know if any of you guys fancy Lost Child.
Good. Race number 8. So many good up and coming horses here. So let me recap for Nathan in this race. Number 4, Global Harmony is the banker with selections. Number 9, Midori Birdie, and number 6, Kaholo Angel. And after talking about race number 8, it's my time to talk about race number 9, which is a class 3 over 1200 meters. The current favorites, number 1, Mugen. I think he is quite good. I think last time out, his winning performance was really impressive. And yeah, he turns 5 year old in this season, and he improved a lot comparing to last season at the age of 4. So I believe this horse is trained by Pierre. He is likely has a good chance to have a hat trick because he already scored 2 wins in this season over the same course and distance. So 1200 meters at Sha Tin is definitely his best trip. So this time he needs to carry the top weight 135 pounds, but I think it may not be a big problem for him because the horse is very strong, very big in size, and also according to his winning performance last time out, his turn of foot was impressive and his sessional time was really good at that day. So I think last time he won from gate number 11, and this time although a heavier draw, heavier weight, but a better draw for him, gate number 5. So maybe he can stay in a better position at the beginning. And also, Sha Tin will be on board again. He knows the horse really well, and he rode him to have 2 victory in this season. So I think that last time out, he showed that he's really improved a lot. So this race, he is still racing in class 3. I believe he is quite competitive here, and as a 5-year-old, lightly raced in Hong Kong, still doing really well in the morning track work recently. So hopefully he can keep his form. So number 1, Mugen, will be my banker in race number 9. And for my selections, there is another up and coming runner here that will be the horse trained by John Size, number 7, Wonderburg. And he is just a 3-year-old, but still having quite really good form in Hong Kong. He only had 3 starts in Hong Kong, so he made his debut over the straight course over the 1,000 meters, and he chased well and won on debut here. And after that, on his second start in Hong Kong, he was carrying 133 pounds, which should be a burden for a 3-year-old, but this horse overcame it easily. And also last time out, he tried 1,200 meters for the first time under James McDonald, and the horse was still finishing really good. And I remember that on that day, the 17th of December, among the 10 races on that day, the track was really favorable for some back marker. However, Wunderbar was leading at that time, and he still managed to run second behind Mugen. So I think it was quite a solid second for him. So this time he will face Mugen again. I believe not that easy for him to turn the table, but he still has a chance to run close again. So quite obvious, these 2 horses, number 7, Wonderbar, will be one of my selections. And for the other selection, I would like to have a better price on number 11, Ready to Win. Although he needs to jump from a wide draw, I think at the current rating of 63, he is able to run close. At the age of 7, I think he still keep his form recently on track work. It's shown that the horse is really fit right now. And also this time he will try. He will have a race on 1,200 meters again, which is his seasonal debut winning trip and distance. And I think after winning that race at Sha Tin in September, Frankie Law decided to put this horse to Happy Valley, and also last time 1,400 meters at Sha Tin, and it was not his best trip and distance on his recent 2 starts. So I tend to give him one more chance over Sha Tin and over 1,200 meters. Class 3, he may be a little bit difficult to win, but at last season, he showed that he is quite competitive in this race, especially he is carrying a lightweight. So this time, Alexi Badel on board 118 pounds and going back to his seasonal debut winning trip and distance, I think there is a little chance for Ready to Win to run close at the price of 27 for the win. We can also have an each way bet on number 11, Ready to Win. So maybe let me ask Joshua first. Joshua, what do you think about race number 9?
Yeah, this is a really, really good race. I found it. You could have a handful in here and still miss. I don't mind Prince of Porty here. I think he had his seasonal debut last start at Happy Valley for the first time. And he went back from gate 11 and he ended up 2.75 lengths back in fifth behind co-partner Ambition, Brave Star, and Merrick to Spec. So I thought that was a pretty good return. But coming back to Sha Tin is a big positive here. And let's not forget, this horse has been well fancied last season. Zach Purton rode him in every single start right up until the last one of the season on the 21st of May, where they found he raced disappointingly. He was found to be Aurora. That was behind Lucky Encounter, Reward Smile, and Northern Beaches. But he's trialled a few since, and Abdullah will retain the ride after that Happy Valley run. So I think back to Sha Tin. I think he's not the worst from barrier 9. I think he's around about $10 at the moment in the Australian books. So I think he's a nice little each way. I totally agree with Mugen. I was with him last start. It was so impressive. He's going for 3 in a row. He carried 58 in that win. He only goes up to 61 now. Drawn to get a nice run, and he's going to get every chance to go make it 3 in a row. And Kayin Rising down the bottom, he was impressive last start in that Class 4. He disposed of some nice horses in easy fashion, winning by 3 lengths. He goes up in grade, down in weight, which is ideal. I think the interesting thing to note here is Zach Purton's riding at 53 kilos. So you don't see Zach Purton riding that low very often. So yeah. I dare say that this horse has got his Zach's got an eye on this horse, and he thinks highly of it for him to ride at 53 kilos. So I threw him in. The other one, as you already mentioned, Charene, was Wonderbar. He would be in my top 4. I just you can't bet them all, can you? So, but yeah, no, I totally agree with what you said about Mugen and Ready to Win. But I'm leaning towards like Prince of Porty, Mugen, and Kayin Rising. I think are the ones that I want to stick with in this race.
Yeah, right. I agree. Prince of Porty had a good run last time out, and also Kayin Rising as an up-and-coming 3-year-old lightweight this time. So have Zach Purton on board. It's quite interesting to see that. And Nathan, what do you think about race number 9?
Yeah, singing from a pretty similar hymn sheet to both of you here. I think Mugen's got to be the starting point. He's just airborne. Looking for 3 in a row. It was with him first up at a nice price as well. Second up, I sort of wanted to be against him, and I had egg on my face. He was just sensational again. Absolutely smashed them. Ran good time on for the day as well. And look, yes, he goes up to 61 kilos, but draws gate 5, Karis Teton on board. Everything says he gets the right run in transit. And look, I think $2.50 around that price is probably fair based on how he's been running. Does run into an interesting run in Kayin Rising. Look, like you said, goes up in grade. Nice win first up. Purton sticks. David Hayes, he's sort of, had a mixed and match form this campaign, but might have found a nice one here. Trialled since, good trial. Everything says he's going well enough, Kayin Rising. A little bit of a query just at the price. So, you do have to take a bit of a premium, but to be fair, it's not that bad considering Mugen's in the race. So you are getting over $4. So maybe, if I'm having a bet in the race at the moment, Mugen's my top pick, and I'll have a bet on him. But I'm with Reddy in terms of my saver. Prince of Porty is the wrong price. I think $10 is more than fair. That first up effort was sensational. I was with him that day. I thought he might run a bit of a bolter. He ran okay. He ran to 5th. He got back. He was never really in contention to win the race, but I thought it was a really bold effort. You go back to his first 2 runs in Hong Kong. He won over 1,000 meters. It was a fighting win, beat Flying High. And then he went around the turn and beat Easy Snip in a very impressive fashion. Ran time. It was a great win. That came in Class 4 company. Went up to Class 3 in the campaign after, and he was only beaten by Reward Smile by a lip, who, again, at the time, was going very, very well. Then, as, again, Reddy alluded to, was Aurora. Didn't need to go to the paddock. They tipped him out. Some nice trials leading in, and that first up effort caught the eye. So I think if he can get back to Sha Tin, recapture his best form, I think $10 is way over the odds for Prince of Porty. Happy to have a little saver bet on him. So Mugen, the main bet, little saver on Prince of Porty. I'll probably do my dough with Kayin Rising and also Wonderbar, as you both alluded to, who's comes out of that same race as Mugen. Does meet him better at the weights, but I just couldn't get it past how impressive that win was by Mugen. So I'd be not shocked, but a little bit surprised if Wonderbar was to turn the tables, just with the tempo in this race as well. I think it sets up for Mugen to make it 3 on the trot.
Yeah, right. So let me recap race number 9 for myself. I'm having number 1, Mugen. I hope he can have a hat trick today as my banker. And with selections number 7, Wonderbar, and number 11, Ready to Win. And now let us talk about race number 10, Joshua.
Yeah, race number 10. I landed with number 9, Green and White. He was mighty impressive on his seasonal debut, winning well with the 61 kilos. And he was wide without cover from that 900 meters before last start. Geez, if you were on him last start, you were scratching your head. He was really luckless. He traveled 3 wide, no cover, and he managed to almost run down Dromberg Banner, who controlled the race really well on the day. He's since trialled nicely over the 1,200 meters at Chungfa, and we should have him cherry ripe for this. He's drawn poorly again today, which is a shame. So hopefully Zach Burton can get him into a nice spot and save some energy for the run home, because if he did what he did last start, he's going to be mighty, mighty hard to beat this afternoon. I think it's a great way to end our day. He was the banker. The selections, number 8, Beauty Fit. He comes out of the same race as Green and White, but he's had 3 runs and a trial since that run, whereas Green and White has only had the 1 trial. Beauty Fit ran 3rd in that race before finishing 2nd to Master of Fortune over the mile. He then went to the mile again, and he finished a solid 3rd behind Chang Chang Glory and Woodfire Bro. Now, we know what Chang Chang Glory has done since that run, and that was again over the mile. And then he was narrowly beaten by Speed Dragon over the mile. He comes back to 1,400 meters today, which really suits. He's got a great draw, and he should have plenty of chance to take this out, though he's 1.5 kilos worse off to Green and White to when they faced last start, which is a bit of a query there for number 8, Beauty Fit. So I think he's a good saver in case Green and White doesn't get the greatest run throughout. And I want to throw in number 3, Kaying Generation, as another selection. He's a Group 3 place getter in Ireland before coming to Hong Kong to the Inform Pierre Ng stable. He's had 4 trials to get used to the conditions here in Hong Kong, and I really liked his latest trial. He was really hard held when he was 2.5 lengths ninth behind some really solid gallopers, with the winner of that trial running in the Group 3 today in Red Lion. So I wanted to put him in, as I think he's a good chance to run a solid race. He might not be a winning chance, but I think he's definitely one you can throw into your multiples. I hadn't checked the price on him at this stage, but look, I think you can put him in the multiples with confidence, because I don't think this is a very deep race at all. So just to recap for race 10 for me, the banker, number 9, Green and White, with my selections number 8, Beauty Fit, and number 3, Kaying Generation.
Yeah, that's nice. Number 9, Green and White, at his time he will be ridden by Sackburn. And again, I think with his help, he is able to overcome the wide draw, and maybe he will be staying leading in the front, because the pace, the tempo in the last race may be, there will be only super winner. Number 6 will be leading. So Green and White, after jumping from the wide draw, he is still able to stay in front, which is should be quite a good position for him. And I think he has a good chance here. And yeah, the one of the selections that Joshua just mentioned is Kaying Generation, making his debut in Hong Kong, and he has quite good form in Ireland and good trial in Hong Kong. So, trying 1,400 meters on his Hong Kong debut, the distance is good for him. So maybe as a 4-year-old, he is aiming the 4-year-old Classic Series that will be starting at the end of this month. So I think Kaying Generation is a good one, and another 4-year-old in this race is the top weight one, number 1, Fashion Legend. That this time he will be ridden by Hugh Bowman. Hugh Bowman is doing quite well after returning back from the injury, and Fashion Legend was a Group 2 winner in Australia before coming to Hong Kong, and he had made his debut at Happy Valley last time out in Hong Kong, and I think there were some excuses for him because he failed to lead, which was his best racing tactic, I believe. So this time, trying 1,400 meters, this distance looks better for him. So maybe Sha Tin, he can also handle it, especially with Hugh Bowman on board. So I will have a small each way bet on number 1, Fashion Legend. But yeah, I think that Green and White, the current favorites and the banker of Georgia, looks really good. And Nathan, what do you think in the final race?
I think he's spot on. Made it my best bet of the day here, green and white. I just think he's absolutely flying. Now, if you have any reservations on him, it's the 2 months between runs. It's been a long time since we've seen him step out. The trial gave me confidence, though. I thought he was good enough in that trial at Chung Fa Since. But that run behind John Beck Banner was just unreal. The fact he was still there, hanging tough at the top of the straight, let alone at the post, I thought was a really impressive effort. Have to be with him on that effort. I was with him that day. I'll stick with him today. And I think anything better than $3 is a clear bet. And I think he's one of the better bets on the program. Milk Gate 10. I think he's got options. I think he can either go back, look for some cover, or as you mentioned, Charene, maybe even go forward and sit outside the leader, something along those lines. He's got a chance to do whatever he wants, really. I'll leave it up to Zach Purton. He knows better than me. And from there, I think we can hopefully finish the day with a winner. So, yeah, green and white for mine. Fashion Legend is an interesting runner. He only just missed my numbers in terms of the quaddie, but, geez, he's a very intriguing runner. I thought his first up effort was okay. I just want to see him step out one more time before I back him. The one I did chuck in my quaddie was another one you mentioned, both of you did, number 3, Young Generation. Now, his form over in Europe was quite good. Second behind Drumroll. I've got a big opinion of Drumroll. That was over 2,000 metres at the Curragh. But look, he's first up. His trials are moderate. But if he can come here first up and sort of hold the position from gate 7, Andrea Adzeni on board. He's taken him on every single barrier trial. I think there's a lot to like about him. And I think, what's he now on the Jockey Club? $31. Gee, I think you do a lot worse than him on an each-way basis. So maybe a little saver on him. Blue Marlin's going okay. Just needs to draw a gate. 14 is not ideal. He drew 12 last time. He was cast wide, no cover. And a lot of punters want to be with him against Pins Prince. He was just unlucky. I think he can turn the tables. He can be a lot closer in a race like this. But barrier 14 does look hard to overcome. And then another horse that came to mind was Sweet Briar, number 10. I've got that in my quaddie numbers as well. Just, I think, last start, 1,200 metres. He was a little bit down. I think up to the 1,400 metres will be a bit of a positive for him. I think he's been looking for a step up in trip, especially after those 2 runs at Happy Valley. Gets back to Sha Tin last start against Galaxy Patch. I think that's pretty solid form. And getting to the 1,400 metres, I think he'll be a lot better. But look, the short and sweet of it is I think green and white's the one to beat. Happy to be with him. Best bet of the day. And then a small saver on Young Generation, because at the price I don't have to spend too much, and I don't want to lose on him if he does win. So that's the way I saw the lucky last.
Yeah, exactly. So this is quite a good race to end today's race card at Sha Tin. And let me recap it again for Joshua. Bank number 9, green and white with selections number 8, Beauty Fit, and number 3, Young Generation. So Nathan, Joshua, and myself just mentioned the last 3 races at Sha Tin today. But the race before that, race number 7, is definitely the feature for today's meeting, which is a Group 3 over 1,400 meters, the Chinese Club Challenge Cup, and it is a handicapped Group 3. So California Spangle with the highest rating from that field, he needs to carry the top weight. So what do you think on this race? Let me ask Joshua first. Who is your top pick in this Group 3 race?
Yeah, it's I thought it was a bit underwhelming, this race. I think Beauty Joy. I've been with the Spangle the last 2, I'm pretty sure, and it's been a bit underwhelming for me. I think Beauty Joy is the one. He should have won the Jockey Club Mile 2 back when the rider dropped the whip. Last start, dropped back to 14th and finished 5th behind Golden 60. It was interesting to note that his final 400 meters in that race was almost as good as Golden 60's final 400 meters. That's which is crazy to think. Likely to go back again despite the good draw. J-Mac on, I think he's the one that's going to be flying late, and he's the one I want to be with in the feature is Beauty Joy.
Yeah, right. Beauty Joy, another horse runner that's trained by Tony Cruz in this field. And what do you think, Nathan? Who is your favorite in race number 7?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Getting back to 1,400 meters, initially my thought process was California Spangle, but the way I kept looking at the way the race shape would unfold, it just reminded me of the 2-back run where Beauty Joy, as Reddy alluded to, at the mile just wasn't able to beat Beauty Eternal after dropping the whip. So the thing about this race is that I just think California Spangle now, he has to lug the top weight. If Healthy Happy wasn't in this race, I'd be more inclined to tip him. But I just think with him in the race, there's going to be enough pressure here where Beauty Joy gets a lovely run, even 2, maybe even 3 pairs back, 1 off from barrier 4 with J-Mac on. I just think Beauty Joy gets the perfect map here if California Spangle and also Healthy Happy want to get into a bit of a speed duel. because from there, I think the horse with the best turn of foot, and as already alluded to, finished off best, or arguably the best in the Hong Kong Mile, was Beauty Joy. He's beaten California Spangle the last 2 times they've met now, and now he gets a clear swing in the weights here. He gets 5 kilos on him on the weekend. So, look, I just had to be with Beauty Joy. And to be fair, I think you're getting a fair enough price as well. They've put up $2.90 for California Spangle. Look, at his best, he's clearly the best horse in this race. But at the price, I think $5.30 for a horse that's going so well and starting to recapture his best, I'm happy to lean in favour of Beauty Joy in the Group 3 feature.
Yeah, so I agree with that. Number 2, Beauty Joy is also my top pick in this Group 3 because what I'm thinking is that Tony Cruz is sending 2 runners in this race. So obviously, California Spangle is the highest rated one, and definitely he is classy. But I think 1400 meters may not his best trip right now. So I tend to support Beauty Joy, who is another runner for this stable. So I think the weight is the key in this race because it is a handicap Group 3. So California Spangle will be carrying the top weight, 135 pounds. But the horse itself is classy to overcome it. But seems that Beauty Joy, 123 pounds, seems really ideal for him. So this horse will be ridden by J Mac today, and gate number 4 is he is expected to stay in the midfield because it is just a field of 8. So I think Beauty Joy, according to his performance last time in the Hong Kong Mile, I believe in this race 1400 meters he can also handle it. So I'm having Beauty Joy as my top pick. And for the other runners here, some of them their rating quite low, so maybe Healthy Happy with the rating of 112. He has a better chance here with Alexis Badel on board, and 1400 meters is a good distance for him. So maybe for the map in this race, I think California Spangle from gate number 1, he will be very easy to lead, and Healthy Happy will be outside him. So these 2 horses still have some good chance because I believe the tempo in this race will not be that fast. So apart from the 2 leaders, I think Beauty Joy maybe sitting in the midfield will be having quite a good position. So I think he is having the best chance to win this group race. So Beauty Joy, the current price is now 5.3 for the win and 1.7 for the place. So I think the price is also quite attractive. So I'm also going to support number 2, Beauty Joy, in race number 7, the Chinese Club Challenge Cup Group 3 over 1400 meters. So yeah, that's all for our preview for today's meeting at Sha Tin. So hopefully you enjoyed our show, and hopefully we can find you some winner on the New Year Day on 2024. So again, before ending our show, wish you a happy New Year for all of our audience who are listening. So we will see you next time for the Happy Valley preview at the end of this week. Maybe we will do it on Thursday morning. So see you next time. Thank you for watching again. Goodbye.